Valentine's Day is literally tomorrow, and this cute makeup look is so easy to do. If you want to make it spooky, you can do this result here, or you can always just do the eye makeup. Starting off, I put in some red prescription contacts. This really tied everything together, and here are 3 of the products that I'm using throughout this makeup look. For the base, I'm using some of this moisturizer, and I'm using it because, one, it smells really good. It's light. It's easier for me to use any of the other cosmetics that I'm going to put on there, especially the adhesive, and it also has a little bit of a sparkle to it. Now, after I put that down, and instead of using this if you wanted to, you could always use concealer as the base. But after I had that down, I used this multi-purpose Fui product. This is a blush along with also a lipstick. It's really bouncy, kind of like a marshmallow. It smells amazing. I put down some of these little hearts, and it's also really, really light too, which I absolutely love. So you can get a very natural look with it, and it's kind of almost more like a blurry natural makeup look unless you continue to stack it. So I put it onto a fluffy brush, used a stippling type of motion, very lightly blended it. I put a bit over my nose as well too, stacked it, and you can see that I stacked it a little bit towards where the center of my cheek was. Then I went back over to take some more of the product and put it onto my lips. The best way to explain the texture of this is like a creamy, almost velvety feeling. It's not very heavy, it's very lightweight. Now I took some more of these hearts, I put them over my eyes. These were actually pimple patches that I already had laying around, so I didn't have to cut them out. I put on some primer, past where the hearts were, along with also over my eyelid. And then I moved on to using some relatively fluorescent pink. Now you could always go with reds, red-toned colors, really honestly anything that you want to do for this makeup look. You can see that I'm using my brush to very lightly pat it, along with also doing a semicircular motion. Then as I move over to the other eye, I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm patting the cosmetic down rather than just fully sweeping it on. So I pat it down first, and then I use a circular motion to really get it onto my eyelid. At the bottom, I'm going under my eyelashes, connecting it at the edge, but not going past my eyebrow and making a faded wing. When you're at this step, and you get to the ending of doing your makeup, or doing at least the eye makeup, you can always take a washcloth, a towel, or some makeup remover on a Q-tip and make it a little bit more angled at the edge if you would like to. I'm making sure that that cosmetic is definitely going to show up at the edge, and just very lightly brushing it a bit more to fill in any of the spaces that I didn't get before. Now, onto some eyeliner. This eyeliner is also a lash serum, which is great. So after I remove the makeup, it'll at least do a little bit more for my skin rather than just dry it out, which is lovely. I'm very lightly outlining this portion of my eye along with also the bottom portion of my eyelid. I didn't really want a very thick or solid line. Honestly, it depends on what you want to do for the makeup. You could always wing it at the edge, or get as close as you possibly can to the actual eyelashes, which is kind of what I did for this makeup look. Now some glitter to just about the center of where my eye is, and the stuff that I'm using is from the Half Magic brand. This, from what I remember, these are called the glitter pills, and I love this stuff. It's great, it dries, and it's so vibrant. Then I am removing these pimple patches, which you can see there's this area that was left from where the hearts were. It looks so incredibly cool and cute over the eyes, and you'll see in just a second. It looks so cute with some of the darker colors. And after those were removed, which took a couple of seconds to get them off, then I decided that I want to draw on a couple of more hearts, so I drew 2 more hearts on both of my cheeks. The cosmetic that I used was from Mayron, and it's water activated. After that dried, I curled my eyelashes. I normally start towards the base and then go up 1 or 2 more times. So I squeeze that once, twice, and then a 3rd time depending on how much they've gone upwards. I added some mascara to create more volume there, and here is this base of the look. Now, I'm a special effects makeup artist. I make things that look scary, spooky, whatever it is along those lines. So, in my own special effects makeup fashion, I decided might as well go for it. What I'm using for the adhesive is I'm using a medical grade acrylic adhesive. This is a water-based adhesive. It's along the lines of what Pros-Aid is. It's skin safe, it's really sticky, and it's great for these kinds of looks. So I'm creating a heart shape on my face that I'm going to follow along with some ribbon after this dries. This type of product gets really sticky after it dries, so that's typically when you want to start sticking things on, or sticking things on when it is almost dry. So I'm creating that heart shape there, taking some ribbon and following it along. You can see I'm sticking it every little bit, following the shape of where I put down adhesive, and as I got to my chin, I decided at this point it would be best to cut the ribbon because it was so much easier to work with rather than trying to just bend it and fold it right at that point there. So after I made sure it was stuck down, I took a pair of scissors, I cut it as center as I possibly could, took the remainder of the ribbon and started to follow it on the other side to create a symmetrical shape on both sides. After that was stuck down, which this side took a little bit more time to stick down because I had to add some more adhesive a little bit later on to get everything fully down, I got to the center, I cut it, and then made sure it was fully and totally pressed down. Now what I'm using is I'm using some scar wax, or in my case, I'm using some sin wax. This just has a lot more bend to it, and I personally find that it's easier to blend it at the edges. I'm taking little pieces of this, and I'm sticking it every so often. Then I'm using a Q-tip that has some petroleum jelly on it, and I'm blending the edges. This type of product breaks down with petroleum-based products, so it's easy to blend the edges with it, and it's easy to make it look like it's, well, flesh, gross, and it's easy to make things where it looks like there's an object coming out of your skin with it. It's a really cool product, and it's one of my favorite ones. After the edges were blended, I used some of the Fui product at the edges. I made it look like it was a little bit agitated and angry at the edges of each piece of scar wax. And here was the final makeup look. I love how it turned out. This is such an easy makeup look to do. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye!
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.